Let's dive into how you can maximize one of your most valuable pieces of digital real estate with data so that you can level up loans and deposits, because just like physical real estate, there are a couple of different ways you can think about the relationship between digital real estate and data. Number one, you can own your digital real estate. You can own your data, for example, with your public-facing website, with your online banking, mobile banking platform, data coming in from the core, if you will, or you can rent digital real estate and data. Think running digital ads on third-party websites, for example. Now, the problem is when you rent digital real estate, just like physical real estate that you rent, the landowner can raise the rates or change the rental terms on their terms. And in some cases, renting digital real estate makes sense because there might be opportunities to drive traffic, say, from third-party websites via digital ads to your website, to your own real estate. However, in a world where third-party cookies have gone the way of the dinosaurs, third-party cookies where data is stored about people's digital behavior, where data privacy is growing even more important, and it will grow more important throughout this coming decade. There's also the increase of ad blockers, relying on third-party cookies, relying on third-party ads placed on rented digital real estate is no longer a long-term solution for growth because rental rates, the cost of ads, will continue to increase over time. I'd also argue, and probably even more importantly, we're in a time right now where people need more than just ads to guide them along a complex buying journey, like getting a loan, opening an account, etc. And as I've talked about on this podcast over and over and over again, money's confusing, money's complex, and people are looking for someone that they can trust. And that's the key right there. Trust. Trust is the sum of what you say and what you do. People are looking for someone that they can trust to guide them beyond the confusion and complexity of money towards an even bigger, better, brighter future. It will be financial brands that transform confusion into clarity. These financial brands will be the ones that rise above the commoditized ads from everyone else who's promoting the same great rates, the same amazing service, the same laundry list of lookalike product features. These financial brands will differentiate themselves by simply helping first and selling second. You know, empathy is the antithesis of narcissism. And I often diagnose a lot of narcissistic marketing for financial brands. And it's just simply providing them a different perspective of how others view them. Many financial brands think that they are doing a fantastic job with their communication. Once again, trust is the deposits that we're placing into the minds of account holders or prospective account holders based upon what we say and what we do. And a lot of financial brands think that they are doing a great job in communication. But in reality, it's really just talking about themselves and what they have to offer. And if we think about empathy being the antithesis of narcissism, personas, consumer personas, allow us to put ourselves in the shoes of other people. Because as the old saying goes, before you can truly understand someone, you must walk a mile in their shoes. That is how empathy is established and expanded. We have to remember that people wake up and they say, I need a car. They never wake up and say, I need a car loan. People don't buy your products. They buy shortcuts to their problems. So to begin defining consumer personas, you have to ask people within the ideal market segments you're looking to create value for, what are their questions? What are their concerns? What's keeping them up at night? What are their hopes? What are their dreams? What do they want to achieve in the future? Because where are these questions and concerns that people have? Where are these questions stored? Where are these concerns stored? Where are the hopes and dreams that people have? Where can they be found? It is in the data. It is in the data of people who are visiting your public-facing website, your primary digital real estate. You might be thinking, great, We're just going to track everyone's web activity on our website, and then we're going to serve up relevant ads to them. You could do that, but be warned, you'll fall back into a narcissistic marketing approach. And often narcissistic marketing is simply when we view data as nothing more than zeros and ones. I know a lot of financial brands are super excited about all of the data that they have available at their fingertips. But the path to level up loans and deposits, rooted in transforming people's confusion into clarity, can only be found when there is a commitment to help first and to sell second. This is why we must remember behind every data point, behind every 0 and 1 is DNA. Real people with real questions, with real concerns that stand in the way of their real hopes and their dreams. We can think about the DNA behind the zeros and ones of data in two different ways. First, there is the big data. And big data is collected from large data sets, both internally, say coming from the core, maybe even from your website. This can also be collected externally through third-party data sources too. And it helps us to group people together, trends, patterns, etc. In other words, big data transforms the complexity into simplicity by informing what people do. What are people doing at scale? But where the real value of persona creation can be found is not in the big data. It's in a term that I find very few are familiar with: thick data. Thick data is the qualitative insights that are collected from a subset of people to better understand their emotions, their motivations, why they do what they do. Thick data doesn't have to be a large data set. It can be as small as, say, maybe 10 people. For example, when we do digital secret shopping studies, we find 80% of the insights through around 10 conversations or 10 interviews. Thick data, it's the why. And when I think about the work that we do through the lens of digital anthropology, the intersection of marketing, sales, technology, human behavior, it's this human behavior component where the greatest insights are found that lead to the biggest future growth potential. And when we think about why people do what they do through thick data, to have value, to create value that creates an impact, data needs stories. That's the DNA behind the zeros and ones. Because without stories, without the narrative informing the persona, you have no emotional context into why people think the way they think and why people do what they do. It is hard to connect emotionally with demographic data that really looks like nothing more than just ones and zeros in a large data set. However, when you invest time to pull together personas, utilizing what we call the consumer persona canvas, it's a model that we teach, you get the full picture into the hearts and minds of people. Now, we still need demographic data, of course. We'll call that the big data. That's where we get some of the initial guidance. That's how we often initiate a consumer persona discovery process. It starts with the big data. It starts with the demographic data. But ultimately, what we're trying to get to are two sides of an equation that is gained through the thick data. The current reality, the present reality of account holders and of ideal account holders, where people are stuck, they're held back, they're limited by pain in the present moment. Questions, concerns, fears, frustrations. That's one side of the equation. The other side, if you will, that's the future. That's their hopes. That's their dreams. That's where they're wanting to go, but they're stuck. They're held back by pain in the present moment. And the opportunity as financial brands is to provide a path forward beyond the pain in the present moment to get them to the bigger, better, brighter future. And so when we look at these two sides, pains, questions, concerns, hopes, dreams, the future. Together, these insights give us an opportunity. It's this thick data, why people do what they do, why people feel the way they feel. These insights give us an opportunity to objectively identify solutions